Pigweed species have historically challenged agronomists and horticulturalists in Wisconsin. While weed management has been improved over the past several decades, management methods implemented have created new problems with respect to pigweeds. Specifically, the rising reliance on herbicides to manage these species has resulted in the development of herbicidal resistance to multiple modes of action. As some populations of pigweeds have developed resistance to multiple herbicides, they have been labeled as superweeds. These are seen as Palmer amaranth and waterhemp. This video will overview the current distribution of common and new pigweed species in Wisconsin, and why we need to be concerned about this new threat. There are several pigweed species that have historically been found in Wisconsin. The most common are smooth pigweed and redroot pigweed, which can be found throughout the state, as you can see on these distribution maps. Spiny amaranth has also been found in Wisconsin, although with only a few reports. This species doesn't appear to be spreading throughout the state and has no documented cases of herbicide resistance. These weeds can definitely let you know they're present with their large spines and can be confused with other species though, so watch out. While waterhemp has been present for over 100 years in Wisconsin, it has become more of a nuisance in Wisconsin's cropping systems with its spread in agronomic fields over the past 10 years. It has recently been discovered developing resistance to herbicides. This is concerning, as resistant populations have spread to at least 7 more counties with anecdotal reports of additional resistant populations. These maps summarize the results. Waterhemp has been well documented to be able to develop resistance to multiple herbicides in surrounding states. Palmer amaranth is a new pigweed species invading Wisconsin that is labeled as a superweed. This plant has devastated other states and threatens Wisconsin agriculture. Fortunately, it is not yet common in the state. Palmer was only recently discovered in the last 5 years in Wisconsin. Its recent presence, along with the fear of it spreading, are a major concern. This has happened in other states, and we wish to learn about its distribution throughout our state with the hope of developing proactive approaches to minimize its spread. Why is the First Detector Network making such a big deal about these two invasive species when there are many more that are much more common throughout the state? It's because of their physiology, which also clues us into how these species are becoming resistant to commonly used herbicides. Both of these species, Palmer amaranth and waterhemp, are more competitive than other pigweeds, meaning that they will outgrow common crops more quickly. These species also produce more seeds than pigweeds common in Wisconsin, which will need to be managed in the future. Palmer and waterhemp also germinate much later in the growing season than other pigweeds, meaning that management will need to be altered and potentially increased to still combat these weeds. This will likely cause an increase in price or a decrease in yield, depending on which approach the farmer decides to take. The biggest issue with these weeds is their separate male and female plants, which allows for genetic exchange to occur more frequently. The most pressing items that make these two invasives dangerous superweeds is their ability to develop herbicide resistance at a higher rate than other pigweeds. These plants are able to evolve resistance more frequently than other species, likely in part due to the fact that their flowering parts are located on separate male and female plants. This allows for much more exchange of genetic information and is believed to be a main factor in enhanced evolution of resistance. This becomes problematic for farmers when these weeds develop herbicide resistance because it creates a system where former modes of management that were effective are now ineffective against these same newly evolving populations. Populations of Palmer amaranth and waterhemp have been found in the US that are resistant to a wide range of common herbicides, as seen in this table. This wide range of resistance causes concern for management, and while many of these populations are not present in Wisconsin, they can develop. Thus, we hope to stop these invasives before they become a huge problem in Wisconsin. Note that currently these plants are not as problematic in Wisconsin as compared to adjacent states like Illinois, Michigan, Iowa, and Minnesota. As you can see here, there are many counties in Illinois with resistance issues for glyphosate and PPO inhibitors. These are highlighted in orange. Wisconsin has fewer cases of both of these types of resistance in Palmer amaranth and waterhemp. You can see this in the resistance distribution maps for these pigweeds. While it is not clear exactly why our state has less resistance than others, it allows us to attempt to minimize the spread of these species. Aggressively managing any new populations have been found to be resistant to herbicides commonly utilized will be key in minimizing this spread. Current efforts are underway to monitor for these two species in agronomic fields with assistance from Wisconsin's Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection. However, we need additional help as these species are believed to be introduced via many different means into our state. Palmer amaranth's and waterhemp's high competitiveness and ability to evolve resistance is why proper identification of these superweeds from the other pigweeds is vital. Without proper ID, crop managers cannot best assess how they should be combating the weeds, especially when they encounter weeds that can develop these newly seen resistances and overtake fields, as seen in this picture. Stopping these invasives before they become a huge problem in Wisconsin will be vital to helping our farmers. We are asking for your help in identifying locations of waterhemp and Palmer amaranth. We are calling this project Report a Pigweed, and we are asking for help in reporting locations throughout the state to better understand these pigweeds' distribution and factors driving their spread. There are resources on the Wisconsin First Detector Network website that can assist you with identification of these pigweeds. Reporting these pigweeds is important to stopping the problem that is occurring in other states. There are a few ways to make sure that we receive your reports. You can report it on Gledon, an app designed for the Midwest to report invasive species. Or you can email us at reportapigweed@gmail.com with a few pieces of information. We ask that you include 1. The location of the pigweed either in GPS coordinates in decimal degrees or an address with specific descriptors like a road intersection. 2. The habitat where the pigweed is growing, like a type of agricultural field such as corn or soybean, or something like a garden, roadside, or other environments, with proper details given, please. 3. Indicate whether the plant may be herbicide resistant, and if so, what herbicide has been applied. 4. Identifying pictures of the pigweed, including a picture of the whole plant, a picture of the plant stem, and a picture of the leaf and petiole, using our easy 2-step system that you can find on our website. Thank you for your participation in Report a Pigweed. The First Detector Network and the state of Wisconsin thanks you.